Good morning, beautiful people. This is Pastor Eric with the encouraging word for Thursday, November 6th, 2025. And today's encouraging word comes from the Daily in His Presence devotional by Andrew Murray. And the title of the day's devotional is The Power of Love. Today's scripture verse comes from the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 37. In all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. In days of unrest and strong racial feeling, we need a new discovery of the love of God. Let us anchor our hope in the thought of God's love. God's power, by which He rules and guides the world, is the power of an undying, persistent love. He works through men and women wholly yielded to Him and His service. He waits for them to open their hearts to Him and then, full courage, to become witnesses for Him. When this has been achieved, Christ's kingdom is manifested and the reign of love on earth begins. Christ died in order to establish this kingdom. The only means He used to gain influence was through the manifestation of a serving, suffering love. He saw the possibility of redemption in the hearts of even the worst of men and women. He knew that our hearts could never resist the steady, continuous influence of love. That unbounded faith in God's love would be our strength and stay. It was this love that enabled the disciples to expect and do the impossible. The prayer is, Lord, I pray that others will be able to see your love radiating from me. Your love is the strength of my life. And the devotional concludes with, arguments or reproaches can never overcome a spirit of hatred or bitterness. Our faith in love as the greatest power in the world should prepare us for a life in communion with God in prayer and for a life of unselfish service among our fellow men. Love truly is the power. Once when Jesus was teaching, a man came up to him and asked him, Lord, what is the greatest of the commandments? And Jesus said, to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. On these two rests the whole of the law. So Jesus was saying that all of the many, many laws that were found in the Old Testament could be boiled down to two things: to love the Lord your God with everything that you are, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And in today's world, I think we need love more than we have ever needed it. It's so easy to look at our neighbor or the stranger even and be full of fear and anger, distrust, all of those things we see in copious amounts in today's world. And yet, Jesus says that we are to love. What does that look like? Well, I think definitely what it doesn't look like is sitting in judgment on people. It's not that, a lot of times people say, well, you shouldn't judge. That's not exactly correct. Scripture says a spiritual man judges all things, but it also says that by the measure that you judge others, that you will be judged. So the biblical admonition towards not judging is actually an admonition towards integrity. Make sure that you're living by the standard that you're judging other people by. But, when people see us, do they feel like that's somebody that cares about me? Or are they feeling like, well, that's somebody that hates me or doesn't like me? Because I think what a lot of times what happens is, what I've seen is that we're all about telling people what they're doing wrong, and we call that love, because sometimes love has to be hard. And while there is certainly a certain amount of truth in the fact that sometimes there is such a thing as tough love, I think we have to be careful. Let's follow the example of Jesus. And Jesus certainly didn't, he didn't pretend that everything was okay. He didn't say, I'm okay, you're okay, we're all okay. He was okay, but we are not okay, right? He was honest about sin. He was honest about brokenness, but at the same time, he reached out to people with an aim to heal, understanding that people are bound up in their circumstances and their sin, and that only he has the power to deliver. So, let's go out into the world, and let's not give in to the temptation to be polarized. What this world needs to see from those of us who call ourselves followers of Christ is they need to see Christ. And what that means is we cannot be beholden to anything but Jesus. That means no political party, no social justice program, nothing but Christ. That's what people need to see. We have to resist the temptation to label people as the other, because we recognize that every single human being on the planet carries with them or in them the image of God, Imago Dei, that all of humanity is made in the image of God. Now, that image has been marred by sin. But Jesus Christ came to reestablish that relationship, and that's what people need to see in us, is Jesus reaching out to the world and saying, come to the Father. And that you can only come to the Father through me. He's waiting for you. The Father is waiting for the prodigal to come home. You have a place. You are seen. You are acknowledged. You are loved. Let's change this world by loving one person at a time. I'm Pastor Eric. That's your encouraging word for today.